A very good morning and welcome to the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha television. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor with you. It is the start of a brand new week and here is your daily morning dose of news from India and around the globe, starting with the headlines. Notification for second phase of Gujarat elections to be issued. Congress releases first list of 77 candidates. Protest by pass after only 2 members of Hardik Patel-led group get tickets. Shot in the arm for fight against black money. Parliamentary panel in Switzerland approves automatic exchange of information with India on financial accounts. Makers of Padmavati differ release a film after continued protest. Uttar Pradesh Deputy Chief Minister wants controversial portions removed to allow release. Robert Mugabe vows to stay in power. In live TV address says would preside over ruling party's Congress in December. ZANU-PF party had given him 24 hours to resign or face impeachment. And India to resume second innings at overnight score of 171 for 1 against Sri Lanka on the final day of the first test in Kolkata. Women's Youth World Boxing Championship begins in Guwahati. 200 players from 30 countries participating. First up, all the election-related news, and Gujarat Chief Minister Vijay Rupani will file his nomination paper for Rajkot West constituency today for the upcoming Gujarat Assembly polls. Rupani will file his nomination in the presence of BJP's Gujarat election in charge and Union Finance Minister Arun Jaitley. Now, Tuesday is the last day for filing of nominations for the first phase of the Assembly elections, in which 89 Assembly seats covering 19 of the 33 districts will go to polls. Notification for the second phase of state election for 93 seats will be issued today. Meanwhile, the Congress party released its first list of 77 candidates for phase 1 of the Gujarat Assembly polls, giving tickets to senior leaders Arjun Modwadia and Shakti Singh Gohil, along with all its sitting MLAs on the seats for the first phase. Now, Indranil Rajaguru, sitting MLA from Rajkot East, has been fielded against BJP Chief Minister Vijay Rupani from Rajkot West seat. Meanwhile, 2 members from the Hardik Patel-led PAS have also been given tickets in the released list. However, protests were witnessed in Surat after PAS members claimed that they were not given proper representation. Congress is in discussions with Hardik Patel, who has demanded 20 seats to contest the election. Congress is also in talks with the NCP and a breakaway faction of the JDU led by Sharad Yadav.
हमारे और पास के बीच अच्छी बातचीत चल रही है। आने वाले समय में आपको भी बताया जाएगा कि क्या निर्णय हुआ है। हमने तो अल्पेश ठाकुर कांग्रेस हो गए, उनके साथ जो लोग हैं उसको भी टिकट देंगे। जिग्नेश मेवानी अगर हमें कोई अच्छे कैंडिडेट देते हैं, हार्दिक पटेल उनके साथी है। हम गुजरात का भला चाहते हैं, गुजरात का विकास चाहते हैं, गुजरात में शांति चाहते हैं।
Meanwhile, Gujarat, the Chief Electoral Officer, has ordered a police probe of a video clip where content is alleged to be aimed at spreading hatred against Muslims to polarize the voters. Now, according to the officials, the Cyber Crime Department will investigate the matter after news of the video appeared in the media. No one has claimed responsibility for making and circulating this 1.5-minute long video clip, which has been doing rounds on the social media. All right, let's get you some other news now. On a 4-day visit to the northeast of the country, President Ramnath Kovind inaugurated the newly constructed Arunachal Pradesh Assembly building on Sunday. Now, speaking on the occasion, President Ramnath Kovind called on the MLAs in Arunachal Pradesh to serve their constituencies and people irrespective of party affiliations. He also said that being a border state, Arunachal Pradesh offers a unique opportunity to trade and to do business with the neighbouring countries. He also expressed hope that the state will spearhead India's trade and economy with ASEAN countries under the Act East policy. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi has reaffirmed the government's commitment towards improving sanitation in the country. Now, on the occasion of a World Toilet Day on Sunday, the Prime Minister posted a video on Twitter and stressed on the need to end open defecation. He said ending this would be the best gift that can be given to women. World Toilet Day was established by the World Toilet Organization in 2001 and recognized by the United Nations in 2013. On to the other top story of the day, an important step in strengthening India's fight against black money. A key parliamentary panel in Switzerland has approved automatic exchange of information with India on financial accounts. The Commission for Economic Affairs and Taxes of the Council of States approved the proposed pact with India and 40 other nations. Now, as part of the information exchange, if an Indian hasn't a bank account in Switzerland, the bank concerned will disclose the financial account data to the authorities there. The Swiss authorities will automatically forward this information to its peer in India, who can then examine this person's details. The pact proposes automatic information exchange with effect from next year and the first exchange of information in 2019. The proposal will now be submitted for approval from the upper chamber of Swiss Parliament. And the Finance Ministry has asked banks to prevent willful defaulters from buying same stressed assets again. The ministry's move comes following information brought to its notice that some of the willful defaulters are making bid to buy assets of those cases which have been referred under the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code, or the IBC. Now, as many as 12 accounts, with each having more than 5,000 crore rupees of outstanding loans, are under the IBC process. This money accounts for 25% of the total non-performing assets of banks. The total outstanding of these accounts taken together is 1.75 lakh crore rupees. And the release of the film Padmavati, that has been at the centre of a raging controversy, has been deferred. The decision was taken by the producers of the film to voluntarily defer the release after protests continued in several parts of the country. The protesters have been alleging that the film distorts historical facts about Queen Padmavati. They have been demanding a ban on the movie. Many protesting groups have also indulged in violence and have threatened the actor and the director of the film with physical harm as well. Security for the film's director and the lead actor has also been increased in the wake of these threats. The film was slated for a December 1st release. Political controversy also raged around the film. The latest to object is Uttar Pradesh. Now, Deputy Chief Minister Keshav Prasad Maurya has said that the film won't be allowed a release in the state if the controversial portions of the movie are not removed. Meanwhile, the Central Board of Film Certification had earlier questioned the makers of the film for screening the film for media outlets before obtaining a certificate from it.
कुछ दिनों के लिए इसको आगे किया गया है। कुछ दिनों के लिए जो लेटर अभी प्रेस को रिलीज किया गया है, वो कहता है कुछ दिनों के लिए इसको मुअत्तल कर दिया गया है 1 तारीख के स्क्रीनिंग को। तो वो कुछ दिन का हम भी इंतजार कर लेंगे।
Breakfast News will take a very short break. We'll be right back with more news. Stay with us.
One of the most influential revolutionaries of Indian freedom struggle, Shaheed Bhagat Singh. Born into a Sikh family, patriotism flowed in his blood at the age of 13. When he formed Naujawan Bharat Sabha to spread the message of revolution in Punjab. In the wake of avenging Lala Lajpat Rai's death, Bhagat Singh and his associates coined the catchphrase Inqilab Zindabad. But towards the end of their rebellion, they had to pay a heavy price for their patriotism. Following the blasts inside the corridors of the assembly, both Bhagat Singh and Batukeshwar Dutt courted arrest. Bhagat Singh was sent to the gallows in Lahore with his fellow comrades, after which he was cremated in Husainiwala on the banks of Satluj.
Tales that inspire. Stories of social change. A salute to diversity. Promoting public discourse. Events that motivate. Inspiring the innovative spirit. Watch Rajya Sabha television documentaries.
Ustad Bismillah Khan, the legendary maestro who brought Shehnai to the centre stage of Indian classical music in 1937. With his heart-touching rendering of Rag Rafi, Ustad mesmerized millions of hearts on the eve of the First Republic Day. But most significant was when India achieved independence. And Bismillah Khan performed from the ramparts of the Red Fort on 15th August 1947. Ustad Bismillah Khan was awarded India's highest civilian award, Bharat Ratna.
Welcome back after the break. Now news from South Africa, where a top Indian diplomat's 5-year-old son was briefly held hostage in Durban after armed robbers invaded his official residence on Saturday. However, no physical harm was caused to anyone. The family of India's Consul General in Durban, Shashank Vikram, members of his domestic staff and a visiting teacher were held up at their residence. Investigations are continuing. Meanwhile, India has officially taken up the issue of security for its diplomats with the South African government. MEA spokesperson Ravish Kumar said, and I quote him now, ensuring the safety and security of Indian diplomats for officials abroad and their families is a matter of highest priority with us. He added that India has taken up the matter with the relevant authorities and that External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj also spoke to the Consul General and inquired about his well-being and his families as well. And Gautam Bambavli will take charge as India's new ambassador to China today. He arrived in Beijing on Sunday to take up his position. Bambavli served till recently as a High Commissioner to Pakistan and earlier as envoy to Bhutan. A 1984 batch Indian Foreign Service officer, Bambavli succeeded Vijay Gokhale. He earlier handled the China desk at the MEA, which also includes relations with Japan, South Korea, Mongolia and North Korea. He has also served as the Deputy Chief of Mission of the Indian Embassy in Beijing earlier. News now on from Hague, where the United Nations General Assembly and the Security Council will meet today for a new round of voting for the last seat at the International Court of Justice in Hague. Now, India's Dalveer Bhandari and Britain's Christopher Greenwood are locked in a neck-and-neck fight for the re-election. 11 rounds of elections held in both the UNGA and UNSC have failed to yield any result. Now, to win ICJ election, a candidate needs to get a majority in both the General Assembly and the UN Security Council, which has not been the case in the 11 rounds of voting so far. Both the General Assembly and the Security Council have convened separate meetings at the UN headquarters today to hold the 12th round of voting today. One-third of the counts, 15-member bench are elected every 3 years for a 9-year term. Now, Bhandari has the support of nearly two-thirds of the 193 UN members. Greenwood is trailing behind more than 50 votes in the General Assembly. However, he received 9 votes against 5 for Bhandari in the Security Council. Let's get you all the international news now. Zimbabwe's embattled leader Robert Mugabe has vowed to stay in power despite mounting calls for him to stand down. In a live television address, Mugabe said that he would preside over the ruling party's Congress in the month of December. Now, this came despite Mugabe's ZANU-PF party earlier sacking him as party leader and giving him ultimatum to resign or be impeached. Former Vice President Emmerson Mnangagwa was named as the party's new leader. At the same party meeting, Mugabe's wife Grace was expelled alongside a number of other senior officials. Now, it is not clear how Robert Mugabe can now preside over ZANU-PF's Congress next month after his dismissal as the party leader. The crisis began when Mugabe sacked his deputy Mnangagwa 2 weeks ago, which was seen as an attempt to position his wife as his successor. The military then took over the capital, Harare. Now, in his speech, Mugabe declared that the military had done nothing wrong by seizing power and placing him under house arrest earlier this week, but he vowed to stay in power.
Whatever the pros and cons of the way they went about registering those concerns, I, as the President of Zimbabwe and as their Commander-in-Chief, do acknowledge the issues they have drawn my attention to, and do believe that these were raised in the spirit of honesty and out of deep and patriotic concern for the stability of our nation.
We were expecting to hear the president say, "I've heard your concerns yesterday and I'm ready to step down." This is not what we're expecting, to hear a long speech without any results for us.
And let's get you some more news from across the globe in World Wrap. The search for an Argentine naval submarine that went missing with 44 crew on board is on. The teams from several countries have intensified their efforts in the South Atlantic to find the Ara 1 submarine, which vanished on Wednesday. However, search is being hampered by bad weather conditions. On Saturday, several satellite signals thought to have come from the sub were detected. A NASA research plane was used in an attempt to trace the location, but was unsuccessful. Israeli media has said that police officers on Sunday questioned Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu for the 6th time in a corruption probe. No charges have been brought against Netanyahu, who has been in power since 2009 and has denied any wrongdoing. He's a suspect in 2 cases. One of the cases involves the receipt of gifts from businessmen, and the other relates to alleged conversation that he held with an Israeli newspaper publisher about limiting competition in the news sector in exchange for more positive coverage. Disqualified Pakistan Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif on Sunday kicked off his party Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz's mass contact campaign. While addressing a rally in Abbottabad, he said that no decision of the court can weaken his relationship with the masses. With the rally, he deposed Prime Minister has kicked off his drive to reach out to the masses. Remember, Sharif was disqualified by the country's Supreme Court on 28th of July following its verdict in the Panama Papers case. We'll take another very short break. Up next, we have all the sporting action. Stay with us.
One of the greatest exponents of Carnatic music, MS Subbulakshmi, or MS to her fans. An icon even to a younger generation brought up on fusion and rock music. MS is the first musician ever to be awarded the Bharat Ratna, also the first Indian musician to receive the Raymond Magsaysay Award. As India's cultural ambassador, she also performed at the UN General Assembly in 1966. Former Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru once said of MS, "Who am I, a mere Prime Minister, before a queen of music."
Art arisen from a multi-hued cultural canvas. Tradition and cultural fervour dating back centuries. And encircling them all, there's a magic that awes. Embrace your nation's brilliant human warmth. Watch Colours of India, Sundays at 9:30 p.m. on Rajya Sabha television.
Welcome back. Sporting action now, and India will resume its second innings against Sri Lanka at Kolkata's Eden Gardens on the final day today. The hosts will resume from their overnight score of 171 for 1 with Lokesh Rahul and Cheteshwar Pujara at the crease. India held an overall lead of 49 runs with 9 wickets in hand at the close of the match on the fourth day on Sunday. The visitors were all out for 294 in reply to India's first innings score of 172 all out.
So it turns to me, by which time, of course, he's hung his coat up. And
Shikhar in on the act now. That's a good piece of timing as well. It's funny, isn't it? These.
And in tennis, Bulgaria's Grigor Dimitrov has claimed the ATP final title on Sunday, defeating Belgian David Goffin. World 6-seeded Dimitrov beat Goffin 7-5, 4-6, 6-3. Dimitrov's unbeaten run has earned him $2.5 million as cash prize. Now Dimitrov will end the year ranking 3rd in the world, with Goffin up to 7th. Meanwhile, Finland's Henri Kontanen and Australian partner John Peers won the doubles title at the ATP final. The pair beat Lucas Kubot and Marcelo Melo 6-4, 6-2. This is the 5th title of the year for Kontanen and Peers. And Women's Youth World Boxing Championship began at the Nabin Chandra Bordoloi Indoor Stadium in Guwahati on Sunday in the presence of Assam Chief Minister Sarbanand Sonowal. Chief Minister Sonowal inaugurated the event in the presence of office bearers from AIBA and the Boxing Federation of India. Indian boxers will start their campaign today with the Shashi Chopra in the 54-kilogram category, Mizoram's Vanlal Hiripui in the 60-kilogram category and Asta Pehwa in the 69-kilogram category. Nearly 200 players from 30 countries are taking part in the event. The semi-final of the tournament will be played on 24th of November and the 25th of November, and the final will take place on 26th of November. And Ethiopian athletes clinched the gold medals in both the women's and sections in the Delhi half marathon. Sports Minister Rajya Singh Rathore flagged off the event in the national capital on Sunday. Current woman World Athlete of the Year, Almaz Ayana claimed the honours in the women's event, while her Ethiopian counterpart Berhanu Legese hawked the limelight by winning the men's event. The Delhi half marathon is one of the top half marathons in the world, with a record participation of 35,000 people on Sunday.
20-minute bus going across right. Train hard for this day. Enjoy the run. And
number 3, please welcome Jorum Okumbo from Kenya, currently the second fastest in the world at the 21k distance. Jorum.
Of course, with the large number of Delhiites and people turning up to run early morning, as it is, we all feel so good. And the people who are running are so energized. Very nice to see them running. This whole change in India that I notice in terms of awareness towards health and fitness, I think is very positive for this country. When 60% of the population is below 35 and we are the youngest nation in the world, we need to behave like youngest as well.
And that's all in this edition of News. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day ahead.